Welcome to the Way to Go podcast. I'm Bill McMinn. Along with me is Mark Hostetler, both pastors at Eagleville Bible Church. Valentine's Day coming up, my man.
Ooh,
it's Sunday. I mean, we're pretty busy, pretty tied up. I do have some plans.
I know. Sundays are horrible for me. And then the day before that, too, I'm tied up with a lot of stuff, too. It's Saturday, so we'll figure it out. You know what? Monday night is our date night. So
there you go.
We're going to try to make it for Monday night. Yeah.
Then
the 15th. Does it still count? I mean, you just don't know.
I think it should.
I think so, too. As a man, I'm like, come on.
You got to do what you got to do. It's not your fault, Valentine's Day.
But you know what? Just because I can't take her on a date Sunday doesn't mean I can't grab her flowers. Doesn't mean I can't grab her chocolates. You know what I mean? So try to do something.
Show the love.
Send her a loving text, whatever.
Yeah, I plan on taking Jerry out with some friends and, just going out to dinner. So I think it'll be nice. I look forward to it. Hopefully, everyone's healthy and well and can pull it off. But when you think about love, one of the things that I've seen cause problems in the past is people not understanding what it is. And so at one point I looked up all these definitions of love. And remember those candy hearts we used to pass out? Like, about like Valentine's in school.
Yeah.
In school, when that was a big thing, I guess it still is. They still do that or no?
I don't know.
Maybe with COVID, they might not.
I'm not sure.
They might not. They might not allow you to pass anything that's been in your hands. But Be Mine, Cutie Pie, My Dream, Lovebird, Be Good, all this stuff. That's those candy hearts.
Those replaced the love letter. You know what I mean? Like, here's a candy. It tells exactly how I feel about you right now. Be mine.
Be mine. Exactly. But these are some definitions of love, too. The perfect union of two souls. An energy so pure, it makes life want to happen. I don't know. Sincere loyalty, affection, and care bestowed without obligation. I mean, I could go with that. Yeah, love should have affection. It should have loyalty. It should have care, right? A neurological bath of pleasure chemicals.
Wow. I've never heard of that.
Why does it have to be so hard? It's like, I don't know. That seems to take the fun out of it. I don't know. Yeah. Finding someone who completes your puzzle. You complete me.
You complete me.
Yeah, the famous Jerry Maguire movie. You complete me. You had me at, what is it? You had me at hello?
You had me at hello.
You had me at hello. Right. Is it? The person that makes everything right in your world. Now, I don't think it's my wife's responsibility to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
The warm and fuzzies, I've heard that a lot of times. How about this? Holding hands in the rain without knowing it's raining. So touching.
Oh my
I don't even know it's raining. I'm so in love. I think the girl would know it's raining. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's got to be written by a guy because a girl's going to know it's raining because she's going to be like, my hair, all the curls coming out of it. And I'm not going to look good for my man. And so that would be a concern. Choosing to do what's best for another person, I would say that's definitely.
That's key. Right.
Yeah, I think that's a part of love. And John 13:34, a new command I give you, love one another as I've loved you. So you must love one another. By this all men will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. So I think that's an important thing. I mean, our command is to love one another, and certainly, you think of the way that you love your spouse. There's no higher love than Christ's love, and I want to love her. All the emotion, and if you want to say romance or whatever you want to put into it, but I'm going to love her to be sacrificial. I mean, that's what we're told to do. Husbands, love your wives.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And I love how this is Jesus talking here. I love how he says, hey, a new command I give you. These guys have been following for 3 years, 3.5 years or whatever.
Right.
They've heard all kinds of teaching, all of that. So I'm sure they were like, oh, yes, he's going to give us the key to everything.
Right.
He comes out with love.
Right.
That's the best thing we can do as followers of Christ. Love one another, and especially in regard to our spouse. Right. Come on. We need to be loving our spouses.
Well, you're supposed to love your neighbors yourself, too. I mean, that's in the Old Testament and New Testament. And when you think about yourself, I mean, when you see your reflection in the mirror, does your heart skip a beat?
Well, no, it doesn't.
You kiss pictures of
narcissist.
Yourself.
I mean, come on.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not. That's not how it works. We actually... we do what's best for each other and we take care of each other. And I think part of love is just that steadiness. It's being there for the other person. It's listening to them. It's if they have a project they want, me as a guy, my wife has a project she wants me to help her with. It's getting after it. It's just showing her that I care about her. And sure, I think part of it sometimes is asking her out on a date. Part of it is spending time with her. I think all that is, but I can say this is certainly more than a feeling. Husbands are told in Ephesians 5:25, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church. And then in 28, in the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated his own body. He feeds and cares for it as Christ does the church. And so as you look at that kind of thing, you have to realize, well, yeah, feelings are part of it, but also, no, you gotta take care of them. You gotta treat them like they're special. You gotta be there for them. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the passage that comes to my mind is that First Peter passage where he says, "Hey," or it might be Colossians, I can't remember, but it says to treat them like a weaker vessel. That's not
3.
Yeah,
yep.
It's First Peter 3, I think, and that's not talking about necessarily like putting down women.
Right.
What that's saying is treat them like they're fragile. Treat them like
I'll give you a better
care,
word. Cherished.
Cherished. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Like you would put, like if you had something that you kind of put it in a special spot so nothing bad would happen to it.
Yeah.
It's like that. And guys always know how to baby their treasures. I knew a guy and he had this Corvette, and I've shared it before. But man, the guy owned it, sold it, tracked it down later in life. It was out in a farm field. He did a ground up restoration on it. One of those split backs, really cool.
Yeah.
But you know what? I looked at how he took care of that car. He spent money on it, took it special places, spent time with it.
That's right.
And I was thinking, that's how we should treat our wives. When it says cherish, like I should cherish them, I should nourish them. I should treat them as special. It's like, yeah, invest some dough in them, invest time into them, take them special places that could protect them. I think all those ways are ways that you're really, really showing love. So it's more than just that hot temperature. And I think sometimes people have this feeling like, well, if I love my spouse, it's got to be something that gets us hot, romantic, heart skips a beat. And yeah, sure. I mean, when you first meet them, yeah. I mean, I think there's certainly that aspect, when you first meet someone, you're first going, can't think about anything else but them. Then you come into real life and you realize it's not quite that, because even if we have, a thermostat setting that, well, it's got to be so much and it should be this hot, we don't, it's hard to gauge that.
Absolutely.
Because how hot that temperature is supposed to be exactly.
Yeah.
For some people, like I like it cooler. My wife would like it,
right.
Not saying the romantic part, I'm saying room temperature. I might like it hotter than I would like it. And maybe some people they have an idea of romance and love should be this hot temperature thing. And other people are like, no, I mean, it's not me.
Yeah. Because I mean, one of the dangers of gauging it off of the feelings all the time and the hots and the colds and all of that is you start to question the other person. And if they truly do love you, even when they're having, sometimes, Bill, we're busy. Sometimes you've had a busy day and you're just exhausted.
Right.
And that day might not be as hot as you want it to be because, man, I'm exhausted or whatever,
Right.
That doesn't mean I've lost love for you. Now I agree. We have to be prioritizing our spouse. We have to be prioritizing our relationship. But sometimes there needs to be grace given, and I think don't question the person's motives so much, love is done through consistency. I'm there for you if you need something, but my goodness, I mean, we got to have grace for each other.
I think you have to have trust in each other too. And I think you have to trust your love more than, oh, wow, I didn't really feel special at this moment. I try not to go by how I feel because I realize my feelings are up and down. I think love is a commitment, and I'm there for my wife, and I love her to pieces. I wouldn't want to be without her. I don't know what I would do without her. I mean, she's awesome, and there's so many things I love about her, but I never went by the feelings. And I would see it because I dated her for 3.5 years before we were married, so I'd see other couples in college who were ahead of me, and they were great couples, and they'd be breaking up because, well, I just don't feel like I love her anymore. I don't feel like I love her. And I used to think, this is because you base love completely on feelings, and that's all that it is to you. If you don't feel a certain way, you feel like you don't really have a love for them that's going to be sustaining, where I did not fall for that because I'm like, I don't care how I feel today. I don't care if I feel head over heels, because I realize there's probably no one on the planet that I would feel head over heels for at all times. I mean, you get used to them. You what you're working on is I don't want to take them for granted. And I love them, but your love is deep. I think love has to be deeper than some fleeting, heart-skipping feeling that I felt at one time to realize, no way, man, my wife's got to count on way more than that for me. And so I don't care if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed and don't feel anything. It doesn't mean I don't love her, right?
Absolutely.
And if she doesn't feel anything, it doesn't mean we don't love each other. We don't gauge it based on a moment in time. Oh, I'm here on this Tuesday, and I didn't feel as, warm towards them as I usually do. It's a Tuesday. Love is a long stretch, man. You're married, and I've been married 36 years now. It's a long stretch.
So love isn't based on a consistent feelings. Love is based on consistent choices to choose the other person.
Yeah.
To make, prioritize them. And, we can't, I love what you're saying there. I agree 100%, Bill. We can't completely rely on our feelings. I think feelings play a part in it for
Absolutely,
sure.
for sure.
When my wife, even just this morning, seeing her come downstairs and grab her coffee, I feel love for her.
Right.
I just look at her and I feel she's beautiful.
Right.
And I love her consistency. Her patterns of life. Seeing my wife every morning like that. I mean, that's a blessing.
Which I think is a great thing. And I think that when I'm always, looking at my wife and staring, and she'll ask me sometimes. I'll be staring at her. What are you looking at? You.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. Is there something wrong? No, I just want to look at you. That's all there is to it. So, and I do.
Yeah.
And I do love her. I mean, I miss her. If I was gone somewhere, I would definitely call her. If I was out hiking somewhere or running or anything, she would usually be the first person that I would call, and first person I want to talk to, first person I want to tell about something, first person I want to share what's going on in my heart and what my concerns are. She's always going to be that first person.
You know what? I've come to appreciate that. I've come to love that about our relationship. For years and years now, every day while I'm at work, I connect her with her. I connect with a phone call. It might be 2 minutes. I might be busy that day, but I'm just going to connect halfway through the day. Hey, babe, how you doing?
Right.
Is there anything I could pray for? Or how's your day going? Or anything like that. Just connect with them.
Oh,
that's,
yeah. I mean, I would hear from my wife
Yeah.
throughout the day, all the time for sure.
Yeah.
But I think loving someone's loving them warts and all. And it's Romans 5:8, but God demonstrates his own love for us in this, that while we're still sinners, Christ died for us. And you look at that, it's like, it wasn't conditioned upon, well, listen, if you're just as beautiful as you were the first day we met, if you're just the same weight, if you do everything just the way I want you to, then I'm going to really love you. It says that he loved us even while we were yet sinners. And I like it because that's a 4-wheel drive kind of love. Yeah. And I'm amazed by my wife. Maybe not, every little thing, I'm sure, hopefully she's amazed by me at some point, but I know she's annoyed by me. I'm saying she might be amazed by me on some things, but she's annoyed by me on other things.
Lovingly annoyed.
Yeah,
come on,
that's life, right? I mean, that's life.
Well, I love the way that Romans 5 passage. I love that the way that starts. Right. God demonstrates his love.
Right.
God is demonstrating how much he loves us by sending his son into this world. So whoever believes in him would not perish or die, but have everlasting life, because Christ died for us even while we were against him.
Right.
Even while we were still sinning.
Right.
Jesus Christ hung on that cross, and he took our punishment upon himself so that we could have access to eternal life. That's good news.
I do firmly believe in it. Just do the right thing no matter what, and no matter how you feel towards people, no matter what's happened. You have to be in control of what you say and what you do. What they do, what they say is up to them. What you do, what you say is up to you. I think that's hugely important. But, the importance of, there are things I will do to drive my wife crazy, whether it's my tone of voice or, looking at the phone when I'm with her. I try to, put it away these days and not really be paying attention to it. If I'm out, just, keep it in my pocket. I don't really need to look at it at all times. It's just more of a pattern, maybe even an addiction, but to not let that come in between us, to be careful of my tone of voice. So I talk to her with respect and, don't make her feel less, because of my tone of voice. And so those are things where you go through enough years of marriage and you hear these kind of things and you just try to work on it, the best that you can. But I'm not perfect. And I'm never going to be. And I can't be, have that pressure of, well, Bill, if you're perfect, then I'll really love on you. No. It's like, well, I'm never going to be perfect. My wife's never going to be perfect. So you got to, allow for some grumpiness at times, allow for a little, it's okay. There's got to be some tolerance in a relationship that can handle the give or take. If it's so tight a tolerance that you can't take any bad look, you can't take any sharp tone of voice, you can't take anything without coming unglued, got to be a little leniency,
No, absolutely, Bill. I agree 100%. This is actually, I think, that's when our level of love for the other person has to increase a little bit. We have to make those choices to go, you know what, in this time, I know that, my wife's going through something right now, that's causing irritations aside from me, from anything. I know what she's going through. And so, you know what, in this time, I'm going to go ahead and load up that dishwasher.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and sweep up the floor a little
Right.
bit because I'm going to show her. I'm going to demonstrate to her. She means a lot. I'm paying attention to what's going on in her life. I'm going to do extra to make
Right.
sure she knows I love her and I care about her during that time.
Right.
You know, it's like the teeter-totter. Was it you that said that? The teeter-totter of love. You know, when you're on the teeter-totter, when one person starts slipping back, you better start slipping back too. You got to keep adjusting
Right.
to, you know
no,
what I'm saying?
I didn't say
Yeah.
that, but
Okay.
I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I do like it. I think it's a good idea. And then too, you know, just seeing the good in other people, I think is part of it. Is we're talking about love. It says in 1 Corinthians 13, which I want to do in another show too, but it doesn't keep any record of wrongs. Does not delight in evil, always hopes. And so you look at those kind of things and you realize, yeah, I mean, I want to see what's good in my wife. I don't want to notice, you know, delight in evil. In other words, well, I'm going to focus on everything I don't like. Any little thing I don't like about her, then that's really what I want to focus on. That's going to kill your love.
It is.
You don't just sit around and think about what you don't like. Think about what you do like.
You know what? I don't, honestly, Bill, I don't like being around the people. I used to be around people that whenever you're around them and you're around your group of friends, guys, they're bad-mouthing the old lady.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, why are you doing that? You know,
No,
it's
I
like
agree.
you're in a sermon series right now about how we speak.
Right.
You know, how you speak, man. You can communicate love, or you can communicate a bad way, you know, for
Right.
your marriage, and
Right.
it's not good, man. Speak love,
Yeah, right.
especially when others are around. You know, honor your wife, honor your husband, whatever.
Right.
You know, you choose to speak life into your
Right.
marriage.
Well, here's one too. You know, if you want to think about your wife in a loving way, don't call her mom.
Oh my goodness!
That helps with the romance. Hey, mom.
Right.
Like, no, my wife is
No,
not my
she
mother,
is
and I'm
not
not
my
her
mom.
father. And
Yeah.
like when I refer to her to the kids, I might say your mom. A lot of times I'll just use Jerry because she's not my mom.
Yeah.
No, on Mother's Day I'll definitely treat her, but because she's the mom of my kids. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna call her that. I think that's like
No. You mean to tell me that's my pet name for my wife? No way, Mom.
No, man. If that's your pet name, you better buy some candy hearts and start getting some new
There you
ideas.
go.
Like
Get some
cutie
new
pies,
ideas,
some new
right,
ideas. Yeah, no, I think we need to practice saying positive things about them and, you know, positive things to them. You know, if we're talking to people, we should be saying positive things. We should be ripping on our spouse to other people. That causes problems. I mean, you get a guy and a girl together and they work together and they're talking about their spouses. Oh, you don't like yours? I don't like mine, but I do like you.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that
danger,
leads to
red flags.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it because here's what happens. There's a scriptural teaching that says your sins will find you out.
Right.
When you start talking like that, eventually it's going to come back at
Right.
you. And
Well, I mean, a negative out of the mouth, the mouth
Right.
speaks out of the heart. If you have negative feelings towards your spouse, even if you're just sharing it with somebody else, it's going to come out in your attitude. I mean, I think that we should have
Absolutely.
positive attitudes,
Yes.
appreciate their strengths, and focus on what do we love. You know, what I love about my wife, you know, she used to always go to all my soccer games. She supports me in everything I do as in ministry. She's a hard worker. She goes places with me, you know,
yeah.
she'll go out and do hikes and she'll go see things and she's curious about things too. And so she'll let me go out and have fun and take my camera and we'll just go see beauty and just experience things together. I love that about her.
Yeah, I absolutely appreciate that. My wife chose to sacrifice. You know, she could have chosen a career path, and there's nothing wrong with that. She knew my heart. She knew what I wanted for my family, and that was for her to be home with my children.
Right.
And you know what? She honored that, and
Right.
she still is.
Right.
You know, I'm super proud of her for that. She's very supportive of me in this job. You know,
Right.
I mean, you talk about a mom that cares for her children. My wife is top notch in that area,
Right.
you know, and man, it helps a lot that she's a great cook too.
Right.
So, I mean, it's awesome, man. I love my wife. I love that she loves me.
Right.
I can tell she loves me. You know, she demonstrates love
Yeah,
towards
and
me.
I think too, we just have to be aware of it. Like if you want to be sensitive, I think we want to be sensitive to our spouse, and if they're saying something to us, not that's unrealistic, but I mean, if they're saying something and you hear about it, it's like, well, why? Kind of like, well, why did you invite them to come with me and come with us? And like, it could be even Jaslyn or something, you know, and wasn't just being with me good enough.
Right.
And it's like, well, of course, being with you is good enough, but I always try to include others in whatever I do. It's just me. But, it helps me to realize, no, I mean, there are times where I just need to do stuff with her too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the other week, we went out and did some stuff together. It was cool. And we both love being with other people, and we both love that. But, there are times too where it's got to be just her and myself just to talk about family, catch up on things, what's going on, what some of the plans are, what's our thinking on certain issues.
Yeah.
You have to keep coming about it, talking about those
the
things.
number one need for a woman is security. Security is a number one thing that they need.
Right.
And the way you communicate security to them the most is by prioritizing them.
Right.
It's just bottom line. That's the law of marriage.
Right.
Priority, making it number one. It doesn't work any other way. It has to be number one.
I think working hard and paying bills is big too. I mean, because when it comes to security, they like to know the bills are going to be paid. They like to know they're going to have a roof over their head and you're going to make it. And having that strong man, I think is a good thing too. But, work on your relationship. If you're having any struggles, it's coming up on Valentine's Day, ask them out. Maybe make a special plan, or like you said, get flowers, get a card, get candy, whatever they're into, and do something. But, you got a few days after hearing this. I think it's good for us to be investing into our spouses. You guys all have a great and awesome week, and a happy Valentine's Day.